Hello, everybody, and welcome to It's a Wild, 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 Wild Mount. I am Mr. DM, and with me are my amazing players. Hello, amazing players.
Hello.
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 Namaste.
Hey, thank you. So some quick announcements, and then we will get started. We do have a Galen, but he will be here with us momentarily. All right, so quick announcements. We still have in our merch store Monster Hearts 2 merchandise. It will be going in about a month and a half. So you still have some time to pick up merch, but once those are gone, those are gone. The artwork is amazing. If you didn't get a chance to watch any of the Monster Hearts 2 stuff, you can catch it on our YouTube. But definitely, at the very least, check it out. Every little bit helps to support what we're doing. So if you're looking for some really cool T-shirts, some mugs, some stickers, to slap on some stuff or what have you, please check out the merchandise store. Once those are gone, those are going to be gone. But there will be things to replace them because we have new artwork from other places. So please check that out while you can. Additionally, we do have a Patreon. So if you get a chance and you are not too keen on supporting by subscribing through Twitch, you can support through Patreon. The prices are comparable, if not just a little less. But depending on the tier that you choose, you can actually get just exclusive items. Right now, the items that we have the players and creators logo. But once our year anniversary is actually like right around the corner. It's at the end of this month actually. And once that year anniversary rolls around, our patrons are going to get new items. So there will still be t-shirts, there will still be stickers and hoodies and t-shirts, but they will have new artwork. And so anyone who's a patron on Patreon will automatically get one of those new things. And that's going to happen at our year anniversary. So if you're not a patron right now, you really need to hurry up and get there because those exclusive items you can only get on Patreon. And that's the other thing. Whatever we have on our Patreon, you are not going to find in our merch store. Those are just going to be very exclusive just to our Patreon stuff. So definitely, if you haven't already become a patron, now's probably the time. But yeah, our year anniversary, and by ours, I mean players and creators, like the channel and us streaming and everything, that is coming up. Can't believe it's going to be a year already. So, yeah, look for a few new things to happen. Don't have anything specific planned. I have some ideas, but we'll see what happens. And let's see, last but not least, yeah, we have a YouTube, we have a Discord, we have a Twitter, we have an Instagram, we have a TikTok, damn it. So, so if you're not following us on one of those things, you should at least one of them. There's like a whole bunch of things that we're on. One of those things you gotta like. So if you're not following us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, what are you doing with your lives? Come on, just one of those things. Just one of those things. Just follow, and let's just get it done and over with. I mean, welcome to the 21st century. Get on damn social media.
That's a fact.
Look, I'm on freaking TikTok. I'm like, that should tell you something right there.
We grew with the times.
Yeah.
DM, do you floss or dab on TikTok?
None of the above. Because that's no.
That's like 5 years ago. They would lynch them.
None of those things. I'm not doing any of those things.
You're really low.
Yeah, you're really low comment. You will see absolutely clips from the various streams that we do here on Players and Creators on there, and they are edited for your enjoyment. So check them out if you can. And that, I believe that's about it as far as announcements are concerned. So with that, let us jump into the game. So, last couple of sessions, you have been essentially doing some chores for the gentleman, an individual who's a boss of some underground criminal network stuff. You know, like you do. And he gave you a list of stuff that you should be doing because apparently you have been kind of sticking your nose where it don't belong, according to him, and kind of messed up some of his business plans. So in order to not be implicated in some kind of really nefarious shit, and probably making your lives a lot worse, you decided to agree and do these chores that he asked you to do. You've been somewhat successful so far in them. You do have one person left on your list, but you also have an individual that was suggested by someone within the gentleman's organization, name of Kara, who kind of pointed you in the direction of possibly doing something about this person, a guard that has been kind of a thorn. Crown's guard been a thorn in the side of the gentleman and their organization. You were kind of covertly introduced to this person as well, but as of yet, you've seen him and have done nothing about it. So it was suggested that you do something about him because the gentleman might keep you doing more and more chores, and this might be a way to fast track not doing something like that. So something to keep in mind. But that is currently where we are at. You have just finished an interesting night operation at the local bakery, where you somewhat successfully got the monies owed to the gentleman. And I say somewhat successfully as both Jarena and Squall went through the front glass door, shattering it, and that was how your presence was made known.
Expertly went through the
expertly, yeah, without issue, you went through that door.
It was all part of the plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that porch was meant to be there.
Absolutely. You know, that Nat 1 had nothing to do with it whatsoever.
No.
All right. So, in the meantime, Rowan is currently on her manic quest to draw the world's best bear claw, while Galen is feeding into her neuroses at the moment, and not trying to help her whatsoever, just completely enabling her at the tower. That is currently where we stand. What would you all like to do? Don't all rush at once.
I'd like to explain to Galen how important the almonds are on the bear claw to delineate the actual claws of a bear. Because where do you think they get their name?
Such wisdom.
And you're the recipient of it. You are so lucky. I wish I was you.
I am jealous. So jealous. You want more paper? Here you go.
Thank you. Ooh, where'd you get this?
It's blank, so.
It's really nice parchment, though. Ooh, you
Yeah,
sure?
indeed.
Sure, Uncle Leo won't mind.
I don't think he will.
Okay.
Can I do like a memory check to see like what enabled her to just draw fanatically? Like, 'cause
Well, you
out
know,
of game-
you wouldn't have to. You would know this. So Rowan had a pastry,
Mhm.
and it was the most delicious pastry of all time.
Yeah.
And she felt like she needed to have some more. But then at some point, Jarena thought and said out loud that she thinks that Rowan should draw the pastries. She should draw about what she was talking about. And then Rowan felt immediately compelled to just do that for the next 24 hours.
I see. Okay.
At the same time, also still craving a bear claws, but her. I mean, it's very odd as you're watching her. There's definitely like drips of saliva all over every single paper of every bear claw that she's drawing, and she's almost feeding her need for a bear claw, but not coming quite close. So it's a little disconcerting.
Do you need water?
Sure. I mean, I don't want to wash the taste of that delicious bear claw out of my mouth, but I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, it is, and you've got spit everywhere. You might be getting.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to destroy my drawings, and I start like taking the hem of my cloak and trying to mop it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a deluge of saliva. It is just like, drips and drabs, and you're easily enough able to kind of like wipe it off. But it's a very obvious thing that it's happening.
Yep.
All right. So while Team Delicious Bear Claw is having their moment in the tower, what is Team Shattered Door doing?
Squall.
Yes.
Should we not even bother trying to get a sample for Pumat? Should we just tell him who it is?
I think there is still potential to get a sample, as the store owner did say. If the gentleman is asking for a sample, then perhaps we can get one. So, assuming that, we're on good terms with the gentleman, maybe we can, have him do us a bit of a favor when we're done doing him his favors. But I don't think it's a huge priority, and I also don't. I'd rather not go back to Pumat right away. Let's focus on the task for the gentleman first, as he's kind of threatening our life.
True. Should we go back to the tower, or should we just... I kind of want to check on Rowan.
Yeah, the only thing we have left to do is the unsavory task of dealing with this orphanage.
That's why I want to check on Rowan to see if maybe the effects wore off from the pastry. Maybe we could use her as like a little cat or mouse to like go into the orphanage and scout. The
That sounds
facial
like a good idea.
Maybe I feel like there's still a little bit of chaos that shrouds our friends here, but we have to first see if their obsession with their newfound sweet tooth is past them.
My ears are ringing. Someone must be talking about me. Oh well.
DM, out of game, how many hours has it been since Rowan has eaten this pastry?
I want to say it's probably been about 4 or 5 hours.
Okay. Gotcha.
Probably got
And-
another 19 or 20 to go. Not that you know that. Not that you know that, but
Not-
just
yeah,
out
not
of, out
that
of
I-
game. Yeah.
I vaguely remember Phoebe mentioning a guesstimation
Yeah.
based on her apparent knowledge.
Yep.
Okay. You know what, Squall? It's probably not worn off by now. So at least Leah, do we still have Lucy around?
Yes.
Lucy could always scout.
We could definitely do that, and I could look through her eyes and report.
Yeah, and I could stand watch again, if anything.
Sounds good.
All right. Then we're gonna go to the orphanage. Yay!
Okay. So everybody, team Shattered Door, you're all going to the orphanage now. Okay. All right. So you are all on your way to the orphanage. You've scouted it out previously, so you are aware of its location. You begin making your way there, and from where you're at, it's probably going to be about a half hour or so to get there. But again, you know exactly where it is, so it's not an issue. But we're going to skip over back to Team Bearclaw. And at this moment in time, while Galen, you're just kind of like sitting in the room with Rowan, and Rowan is frantically scribbling. You all hear in the distance, "What the fuck? Where the hell? Who's going through my shit?" You hear this really clearly, and you hear, and your door flies open, and Norman, the Iron Golem, is just kind of like standing there with, he's got Leopold like cradled in his arm, and he just kind of puts him down in front of the door, and and Leopold's just standing in the doorway. "All right, who's taking my shit?"
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. Galen, I asked Galen to get me some blank pieces of paper, and he did, and we didn't think you would miss them, but if you want them back, here. And I handed him the pictures that I drew on the new sheet of paper.
Rowan, do me a favor. Roll me a D12, please.
I don't know what I did, but I rolled 3 D10s for some reason. I don't know how I did that.
No, just a singular D12.
Yeah, that was weird.
Fantasy
Hang on,
math.
fantasy math and technical difficulties, and I'm sorry.
Uh,
Do you have regular D12s, not digital?
Somewhere.
yeah, you can use digital or regular dice. That's fine.
Nope, she found it.
Rolled a 10.
10. Okay, you hand Leopold 10 out of the 12 sheets that Galen gave you. Scribbled and drawn on with your charcoals. And he just kind of like looks at them, and he's turning a nice shade of purple. Are these bear claws?
The best bear claw I've ever eaten.
On my enchanted parchment?
It was enchanted?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
For my spell books.
I seem to be,
She's
craving bear claws, and I can't stop drawing. And I'm just realizing how weird it sounds as I'm saying it out loud. And I'm not really sure I know what's wrong with me.
She's been drugged.
I wasn't drugged. I would have known if I was drugged.
Sure.
Look, there's...
No, I think Sora said something about an enchantment, but I can't really remember. I really miss that bear claw.
All right, deep breaths, Leo. Deep breaths. Just... All right. And he kind of looks at the pages, shakes his head, and he just shoves them into his robe. And he just kind of looks at you really, really hard, takes another deep breath, releases it. He goes, all right, so clearly you're high.
I didn't mean to be high. I was just trying to help.
Well, you know, with you, it's like a dice roll. You know, it's like shooting craps. You never know what you're gonna get. You're either high or you're you, right? But I can from here I can see the eyes are dilated, and you got the shakes and the quakes and the irks. You know, clearly there's something going on here. And yes, I am upset that you fouled my enchanted parchment. I'm also upset that you did not bring me drugs as well.
Oh, I can tell you where I got the bear claw.
Is that what you kids are calling drugs now? Bear claws? Is that
Nah,
why?
it's in the bear claw.
There's a bakery and it's so good. And I tell him the name and I'm like, oh, it's so good. And for some reason, nobody wants me to have another bear claw from there. And I don't know why, because that's all I want.
Right.
The other
You
half
would-
of the party.
You
The other
wouldn't
half.
have. Well,
And then
what's-
Jarena told me I should draw. And I started to draw. But I was still craving the bear claw. Oh my God. Do you have any paper?
he looks at you, and now he's just like the redness and the purpleness in his face is slowly subsiding, and now he's looking at you like he's inspecting you, and he just walks right up to you, grabs your face, starts pulling like checking your eyes. He's like, open your mouth. And yeah, he looks at you, he's like, he says a few words and his eyes flash, and he goes, holy shit. And then he does another motion, and there's another flash, and you immediately feel this compulsion to eat bear claws and draw just fade away from you.
Thank you so much. I owe you a lot. Now I have this compulsion. I need to punch the woman in the bakery.
All right, so that was weird. You had, well, essentially you were under the effects of a spell. It's I'm not gonna lie, it's a little genius. It was very subtle, but it was definitely an interesting take on the command spell. But you said this was inside pastries.
Yeah, there was some kind of something in the pastry that made it so delicious that I was craving more, and I couldn't wait. And then Jarena told me to go draw, and I've never felt so compelled to draw before in my life. And I was like, yes, I must draw these pastries.
Yeah, so yeah, there's like, it's like twofold. It was the compulsion to continue eating the thing you were eating, but there was also like an underlying, someone had to give you a command. Apparently the command was draw something. Which is why you fucked up my parchment.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I'll deal with it. But it's weird. You know what? I think I'm gonna go down to that bakery and have a go look see when they open up in the morning, and I'll check it out myself. But where the hell is everybody else?
They're investigating.
I think they went back to the bakery.
It's not gonna be open now. Oh, you're doing the weird shit, right?
We are doing things we cannot discuss. It is clandestine.
Nope. That's fine. Don't want to hear it. All right. Yeah. So after hour stuff, not my business. All right. Well, I'm glad you're back to being you, I guess.
Thanks.
Don't touch my shit.
Okay.
And he looks at you, Galen. You too. Got your grubby little mitts all over everything.
Galen, we should be helping them. They need our help.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought it was a good idea for me to watch you. So I don't know where they're at.
I look around at my room and there's just paper everywhere. It's like, oh, my notebooks are ruined. Okay, well, thanks for nothing, Galen. Let's go find our group.
Yep. I think they'll be. Hey, Leopold.
What?
What time was it when you came back?
It's like 4 or 5 hours after sundown here.
Okay.
You think they're still at the bakery? I mean, the last jobs didn't take this long.
Let's give them an hour.
I think we should go find them right now.
Okay, sure.
Thank you again, Arcanist.
Yeah. Don't touch my shit. Let's go, Norman. And he just turns around and he walks out. Norman just following him. And you two are going to take off after the group. Okay.
Yeah.
Point of order: it is not 4 or 5 hours after sundown. It's only like 2 hours after sundown at this point. So yeah, you leave the tower. Both of you make investigation rolls for me, please. This is to see if you can actually track them down and find them.
Do we want to give one of us an advantage or no?
Well, it's up to you two. You can roll individually, or one of you can roll with advantage.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Rowan, what's your investigation?
I rolled a 5.
All right. So, what's your modifier for intelligence? Well, what's the initiative? Like, is it a +2, a +1?
It's a +1.
Okay, so we're both the same. Okay, I'll just roll then. $19.
18. Okay. As you two make your way back to the Pentamarket and begin looking around at the bakery, you don't see your friends, but you do see two women sweeping up lots of glass and like putting up wooden planks on the front door. And as you begin looking around, you can kind of see them like talking to each other very like excitedly and very like angry. And oh, who did we lose?
Is Don.
You cut out, Lori. Her PC restarted on its own. She'll be back as soon as she can.
Okay. All right, let's see.
Well, I see this mess and I just sort of hold up my hand and like pretend I don't notice and I just keep walking.
Okay. But they do point in a direction occasionally, leading you to mostly Galen, as you're just kind of like covering your face, trying not to look at them, being inconspicuous, while doing so. Galen, you pick up on where they're actually pointing. And as you both begin making your way, you actually in the next 20 or so minutes, catch up with the rest of the group. Team Shattered Door, you actually see Rowan and Galen kind of running up behind you as you are making your way to the orphanage.
Uh-oh.
Hey, what'd I miss? We saw a broken door and angry people.
Man, I didn't know you guys had it in you to destroy the place.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were gonna fuck up the place. Gee.
It's sometimes you have to assert yourselves a little bit more directly to get tasks taken hand.
That's risky. I mean, the guards could have been walking by when you were doing that. That's crazy.
We took a very conscious approach and did so with delicate care.
Okay.
Nice.
I hope we're not doing that with the orphanage.
Well, I don't suspect we'll have to knock down doors at any orphanage unless they're deadly. I don't think that's a problem.
She might be. She's an elf. She might be very old.
That's fair.
Did you guys figure out what were in those baked goods?
Jarina?
I'll answer his question. We never got a sample of it, but it was indirectly confirmed that there is a substance, a secret ingredient. And out of game, I want to go right up to Rowan, and I want to examine her, and I want to look into her eyes and ask her questions. What did you want to eat today?
I don't want to eat anything, but I do want to give that baker a knuckle sandwich. Do we have time for that?
No, that time has passed. We have to move on.
Damn. Okay.
So she doesn't
Leopold
seem
helped
high
me
anymore,
out.
right?
Leopold helped me out, and you didn't help things either. By the way.
Jarina, make a medicine check for me.
Oh, okay.
It was like dueling obsessions. I drew on every piece of paper in that tower.
I got a 19.
19. She looks like she's like on the very, very tail end of like she's on the very tail end of whatever this was. Like she's obviously sweating. There's a little bit of a jitteriness that wasn't previously there, but she seems like more herself than anything else. She definitely seems a lot better than the last time you saw her. Doesn't seem to be under any effects of whatever it was that she partook in.
All right, guys, she's clear.
Oh, go ahead.
So when Leopold fixed Rowan, he did mention that there was like some sort of command magic in it. Do you guys know anything about that?
Jarina,
No.
does Rowan know what Jarina did to her?
You
Didn't
don't.
Kumart Soul say something about what his formula did?
It was a deliciousness.
Dust of deliciousness.
Yeah,
Also known as magic dust.
Didn't he explain that it basically makes people do things that you want them to do?
He didn't give an exact explanation. All he said was that the dust of deliciousness, when sprinkled on something, basically just it made something more delicious than it was, to the point where it was somewhat distracting. And that's all he said. But he definitely said that this was a variation of his dust. That it wasn't completely his formula. So definitely either someone went and changed it, or they created something similar to his with something else. You just don't know. But he explained what his actual formula does. And you don't know exactly what that means, because you didn't ask for a further explanation, he didn't give you the pouch that he had. So without that, you don't know, you don't have any more information.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So is there anything else you'd like to do on your way to the orphanage?
How soon do we want to go stealthy if we're going to be scoping this place out?
Come on, guys.
We probably shouldn't travel in a big band in the street. We might want to separate, or at least be close enough to each other to see each other, but not close enough to look like a mob.
Are we still considering maybe transform into a cat or something? And
we can send Lucy in. Do you guys want to use the hat of disguise or whatever that was again, so we look different?
No. There's only one, and that's on me.
No, I mean the thing Leopold did to us.
And I don't know the spell yet.
He wasn't home when we got to the tower for him to teach her.
Should we wait till tomorrow to do this? I don't mind turning into a cat, or a rat and sitting on Lucy and going in. I mean,
I think we should scope it out while we have the opportunity.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And it would be nice to have both Lucy and Rowan inside scoping out. It'll be quicker.
All right. So you make your way to the section of the outer, I believe it's the, it's the eastern outer states, where you previously saw the orphanage. Again, it's a pretty large building, has that feel of a barn, but much larger, made out of stone. There's these massive double doors in the front. It is 2 stories, and there are many windows all around. There are like bushes and foliage around the building itself. Not well tended, but definitely a deterrent for just anybody who might want to kind of cross over into their territory, into the actual property. But not much of a deterrent. Like it's just like anybody's privacy hedges, essentially. And the building itself looks like it's also like not well maintained, not dilapidated by any means, but the contrast of the brand new sign out front against the actual older building itself is just a little odd. And again, the sign itself says White Willow Home. And as you all make your way there are not a lot of people out on the street. There is the occasional Crown's Guard patrolling. You've at this point in time making your way from the bakery in the Penta Market to the Eastern Outersteads. You've probably seen maybe 3 or 4 Crowns Guard, who definitely eye you as you are a large group of people walking through the streets in the middle of the night.
We're spread out.
All right, so you have to tell me how you're spreading out. Explain to me how you're spread out, because that makes everything you do makes a difference.
Like Leah said, we keep each other in eye shot, but we pretend we don't know each other, and we're just sort of nonchalantly walking around.
Okay. Who's walking in what groups?
I'm walking with Squall.
Okay. Jarina and Squall.
I will walk with Leah.
Okay. Sora and Leah.
I'll walk with Rowan.
Okay. Galen, Rowan. Baby, who are you walking with?
Trina, you walking with anyone?
You're really low, Phoebe.
I link arms with Galen, and I pretend I'm drunk, and I lean on him.
Way to be nonchalant. I need you to roll me a performance check.
I'll help her.
Is that better?
It's a little better.
I don't know what's going on. I think.
Well, who are you walking with, Phoebe?
Trina, are you walking with anyone?
I'm walking with Squall.
I'll walk with you guys.
Okay, so Jarina, Squall, and Phoebe. Okay. What'd you get, Ron?
You have advantage. I'm helping you.
Okay, I got a 6.
With advantage?
No, I didn't roll it with advantage yet.
Okay, so roll again.
I got an 8.
All right, yeah, that's better
Oh,
than
boy.
6. Is anybody else doing anything to seem nonchalant as you are all just kind of separated from each other at this point, but definitely within eye shot?
I take out my leftover bottle of Radler and I take a swig while
Okay.
I'm walking with Squall and Phoebe.
Okay. I will say not a performance check. This will be more of a deception check. Again, just trying to seem inconspicuous as you're walking.
15.
Okay. All right. And Sarah and Leah, are you doing anything?
Do we want to be in front of them or behind them?
Let's be behind so that we can keep an eye on what's going on around them.
All right.
And I'd like to, just be nonchalantly observing what's going on in like the shadows. Keep an eye on people that might be looking at us or following us.
Okay. So should we roll stealth, babe?
Yeah, I'll say again, you're not trying to be like super like no one can see us, but this is definitely you're trying to kind of stay as far from the 2 other groups as possible so you don't seem like you're part of them, and definitely can keep an eye on things. So you can either both roll stealth individually or one of you can roll stealth with advantage.
You, Leah, you with advantage.
Okay, with advantage, I rolled a 16 plus 8 is 24.
Okay.
Much better than the 12 I rolled.
You can't do that, Sarah. You can't roll and then say, "Oh, forget it. You do it." Don't do that again, please.
Yes, Papa.
Otherwise, I will start taking inspirations away from you folks. I don't always do that. Alrighty. So, moving forward, you begin making your way back to, as I said, the orphanage. As you've been walking, Rowan and Galen, you've definitely been clocked by at least 2 Crown's Guard that have definitely watched as you walked by. Like they actually stopped and watched and stared at you, but then continued on their way. The other 2 groups, thankfully, you didn't get such attention from the Crown's Guard. But you are now in front of the building. You could be across the street at this point, or some ways down, so you're not like 100% right in front of the building. It's up to you, but you are definitely the orphanage is within sight. What would you like to do?
I want to wait for Leah. I'm gonna stand guard while she's looking through Lucy's eyes when she sends her in.
Okay.
I take off my hat and hand it to Galen. And then I say, okay, cover me. And I look around and I look for a cover, like a tree or something. Is there a tree or something?
There are a couple of trees. There are some alleyways that you could step into if you'd like.
Well, I step behind a tree because the last time we went into an alley, it wasn't that great. And
Fair enough.
I wild shape into a rat.
Okay. What color are you?
I'm a little white rat.
Okay. So, Galen, you watch as Rowan wild shapes into a little white rat.
Then I climb up his leg and sit in his hand.
This is weird. Okay.
All right.
I squeak at him. Squeak!
He's not used to carrying someone who just turned into an animal. It's not something.
But who is? Who's used to that? Really? Who's used to that?
True.
All right.
I want to tell Rowan to keep in mind how many people are inside.
Okay.
Squeaker, 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 squeak.
Yeah, Rowan squeaks at you.
You speak rat, Jarina?
Nope.
Cool.
Okay. So what else are you all doing? Lucy is going to be doing something as well.
Yes, I'm gonna find a inconspicuous spot where Jarina can watch over me while Lucy goes in with Rowan, and I can see through her eyes.
Okay. I need everybody to make an investigation check for me, please.
Oh, babe, before you say anything else, I had rolled that 12 before you said she could roll with advantage. Just saying.
Okay. Jarina, what'd you get?
I got a whopping 3.
Okay. Rowan?
Nice.
I rolled a 15.
Is that with the mouse stats? The rat stats?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me see what mouse investigation is.
It's whatever your intelligence modifier is. Oh, actually, no. With your wild shape, you keep your stats. You keep your stats. So the 15
Okay.
stats. 15
I
stats.
thought so.
Yeah. Okay. Sora.
I got a 25.
Okay. Squall.
8.
Leah.
17.
17. Phoebe.
16.
16. And Galen.
11.
11. Alrighty. Phoebe, Rowan, Sora, and Leah. As you're kind of looking around, there are a couple of places that you can kind of like, because across the street from the actual orphanage, there are a number of like homes. Two of them actually don't seem to be lived in. Like the windows and the front doors are boarded up. There is another home that does not seem as empty as the other two, but there are spaces in between these houses that if you kind of stepped into the alleyways, you would probably be more inconspicuous. You would be out of the street and you could actually view things from across the street. And you would be probably about 25 to 30 feet away from the actual front of the orphanage if you wanted to. So you do have those spaces.
DM, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm looking at my wild shape creatures, and I could have sworn I had a giant rat and tiny rat, and I don't have tiny rat on my sheet. And I'm not sure if that's because I can't turn into a rat. I could have sworn it was there. I also have a lizard and a giant lizard, but
Oh, no,
I don't have.
You would be able to, even though regular rat is not there, you would be able to turn into a regular rat. So
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Yeah, you can definitely add that.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so all right. So you basically have these spots where you can view the front of the orphanage. I will ask if you're staying in your individual groups, or are you clumping up?
Leah, do you want to go in between those houses there in that alley in the shadows and maybe check the orphanage out from there?
Okay, let me check it out and make sure that there's no strangeness.
Absolutely.
And I'm just sticking with Leah. And when she's looking through Lucy's eyes, I'm gonna have her lean her head on my shoulder, and I'm just gonna pretend to drink my Rattler.
Okay, what is everybody else doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna like stand off to the side, like on the side of the building. Just to be out of sight, so mostly.
Remind me again, are Leah and Sora going in the back, or they're not going to the back?
It's Leah and me.
Okay, so you two are going to the back?
We're going to whatever alleyway between the houses that Sora pointed out.
Okay.
I don't suggest other people come with us.
Alright, just double checking.
I decide I'm going to the houses that look unlived in. See if maybe I can see anything from there.
About the house, or just from looking at the orphanage?
Looking at the orphanage.
Okay. And who are you with?
Anybody want to come with me?
Rowan, where do you want to be dropped off? Because I might need to go with Sora.
Squeak, 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 Rowan says to you.
DM, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Nice.
No, he took the squeaks right out of your mouth.
Okay then. I'm just gonna put Rowan. I'm just gonna put my hand close to the ground and see if she just leaves.
I do.
Okay.
Alrighty
And
then.
you start making a beeline to the front door. Okay. All right. So Jarena and Leah are together. Who else is together?
I guess I'm gonna be with partnering with either Squall or Sora.
Phoebe's also there too.
All right. So Phoebe's with you. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So is it Phoebe, Jarena, Squall, and Leah together? Is that what's happening?
No, it's just me and Leah, And
Okay.
then Galen's gonna be with, I guess, Sora, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that leaves Squall and Phoebe can pair up?
Okay. Alrighty. So, Jarina and Leah, you make your way around to the side to one of these alleyways. And Leah, you reach into your pouch, you pull the rat form of your familiar out. And what do you ask her to do?
Lucy, I need you to go inside and look around with Rowan, and I show Lucy to Rowan so that they know not to fight. And let me know what you see inside. Show me with your eyes.
All right.
And I let her down.
All right. Lucy squeaks at you and then begins to just run in the same, almost in the same direction as Rowan is going. All right. So Rowan, you make it to the door first. You are easily able to squeeze under the front doors of the area. I need you to make a perception check for me, please.
$19.
Okay. As you begin making your way in, you are hit with immediately like this smell of just various types of like foods. You can smell meat, you can smell breads, grains, things like that, just immediately. And rats don't have dark vision, so it's a little dark, but there does seem to be the occasional torch, but it's not extremely well lit. But there is enough light for you to kind of make your way around without actually bumping into anything.
Does Rowan sense or smell cats or dogs or anything that might gobble her up?
Not as of yet. Not as of yet.
She's gonna hug the wall and just make a circuit around the area.
All right. So as you squeeze in and you get in, immediately, one of the things you see is that one, especially in your rat form, this place is huge. There are two doors, one to the left and one to the right. I will tell you that with your perception check, the one to the left smells very much like a privy. There's no mistaking that smell. But the one to the right, there is also a door. There are actually two doors immediately to your right. And then there is what looks like a long hallway ahead of you as well. What would you like to do?
I'm going to stick my head under the door that does not smell like a privy and just sort of peek in there and see what's in there.
Okay. As you get there, you realize that this door is it's a very thin door. And as you make your way under, for some reason, it continues to extend much further than a door actually would. As you come out from underneath it, there's like maybe like 2 or 3 feet of wood. You kind of look around. There is no light in this room, so I'm going to need you to make a perception check with disadvantage.
$18.
That's at disadvantage? Okay.
The other one was 19.
Okay. Awesome. So you are able to make out what looks like a chair. And as you're looking around, you can see that what you actually walked under seems to be some kind of like desk. And you start putting it together and you realize that there is the door that was in front of this. This is essentially like a greeting area for people as they walk into the orphanage. And this is probably like where, you're not sure who, but someone sits here and they essentially like greet people as they come in. And the door is just covering the top, just the area itself. So it just kind of opens up during the day, and then someone sits behind this desk waiting to greet people. There is also a window that is currently shuttered, keeping all of the light out from the street, up basically on the opposite side of the door.
I think I've seen enough of this room, and I pop back out from under the door.
Okay. So while this is going on, Lucy makes their way inside. Leah, you are now seeing through Lucy's eyes. And Jarena, you can see that Leah's eyes are just completely milky white, like they have just completely shaded over. And as you are looking through Lucy's eyes as she's making her way in, you watch as Lucy does see Rowan's back end squeeze under a door to the right. Make a perception check for Lucy using Lucy's stats.
She doesn't have any modifiers in perception, so it's just a straight 15.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, Lucy smells the same thing. The door immediately to the left, it's a privy. Rowan just went into the first door on the right, and there seems to be a second door also, and ahead a long wooden hallway. What would you like to do?
I'd like to proceed down the hallway.
All right, how far?
To the next door.
Okay. Do you want her to go into the next door?
Yeah, I wanted to check it out first.
Okay.
Can I ask, is Lucy invisible or just in mouse form?
At the current, Lucy is in mouse form and very visible.
Can Lucy go invisible in mouse form?
Yes, they can. Would you like her to?
She'd like to do that, yeah.
Okay. There is this very odd, almost like fuzziness to your vision for a moment as you sense that Lucy does go invisible. But then you continue. So you make your way to the second door. This door doesn't seem to be. She can't squeeze under this door. There is no space in this door.
Any kind of distinguishing marks, characteristics? Does it seem trapped or anything? Locked?
Lucy would have to change shape to check that out, because a mouse is very tiny, would not be able to actually check the door itself or the handle or anything like that. So you can have her transform back into her Quasit form and check it out if you like.
I think for right now, I'm just going to make note of the surrounding area to know that that's a door of interest, and then continue exploring.
All right, so further down the hallway, as Lucy continues going down this hallway, make another perception check for me. There is some light, so it's not going to be a problem.
14.
As Lucy progresses about maybe 15 more feet down this hallway, the hallway opens up to the sides, and Lucy can now see that the hallway, it's basically like a lowercase t, like a crossroads. And so she is just kind of standing in the middle of this crossroads in the building, and immediately sees to the left, past the privy door, a set of stairs going upwards, and then the hallway continues maybe another 30 or 40 feet forward, and then to the sides maybe another 30, maybe another 60 feet either side.
Are there any sounds or movements or anything noticeable in any of these hallways or rooms? Like, it seems like it sounds like a dead area.
Make a perception check.
$16.
16. Immediately to Lucy's right, going down one of these side halls, there is this ever so faint sound of snoring. And Lucy can see that there is another door down one of these hallways. And that's where it seems this faint snoring sound is coming from.
So far in this orphanage, no orphans?
Not that you've seen.
I'd like to go towards the snoring sound.
Okay. So Lucy makes her way towards that door. While that's happening, Rowan, you exit the meeting room, begin making your way down the hall. As you begin making your way back down the hall, you can see, for a moment, Lucy, and then Lucy disappears.
Squeak.
So now you're kind of at this crossroads. You see the same thing that Lucy just saw. You see the stairs going up. You see the hallway continuing, maybe another 60 feet forward, and then 60 feet to the left and to the right.
Do I see the stairs?
Yeah, you see the stairs.
Okay. Rowan's going to go up the stairs and see how many children there are up there. Because that's where she assumes they are.
Okay. So you make your way up the stairs. As you make your way up the stairs, I need a perception check from me, please.
I also want to make clear that she is being as stealthy as a little rat can be and is hugging the wall.
Okay.
$24.
Okay. As you make your way to the top of the stairs, you notice a few things. One, there are no lights and no torches up on this floor that you can see. So the light has diminished significantly as you reach the top of this floor. But you now can hear a number of individuals snoring or making sleeping sounds while you are up here, just on this tier. You can absolutely move forward if you like, but most of your perception checks up here are going to be at disadvantage, simply because of the lack of light.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
Are there doors, or they're just...
Well, as you get up to the top of this floor, it kind of opens up into what you can see, like a desk, a large bookcase, and there are these two massive double doors on both the left and right sides of where you're standing. And there's also a singular door ahead of you.
Where does it sound like the snoring's coming from? All the doors?
From where you just came up from, immediate to the door immediately to your right, the two double doors immediately to your right, is where a lot of the louder sounds are coming from.
Okay. I go under the door stealthily.
Okay, there is enough room under there. I need you to make a stealth check for me, please.
16.
16. Okay. You squeeze under the door. There's just enough room for you to make it. And as you do, now definitely the snoring has gotten a lot louder. And you can see the outlines of what definitely look like beds. Like there are a number of beds in this large room. In fact, you count about 11 different beds. And while not every bed is filled, you definitely can make out, at least with that roll, you can make out what seems to be at least 5 or 6 small shapes in the beds.
Since the lighting is no good, I'm just going to take that as my best guess, and I'm going to squeeze back under the door.
Okay. All right, Leah. Lucy makes her way to this door where she heard snoring. She is able to squeeze under this door. As she squeezes under this door, I need you to make a perception check at disadvantage because there is absolutely no light in this room.
14.
14. She squeezes under the door. And inside this room, there are what seems to be 3 beds. There are forms, there are shapes in the beds. And this is definitely where the snoring is coming from. There also is a not boarded up, but a shuttered window that is closed at the far end. You can see just a little bit of the street light just kind of like peeking through, just very barely, not enough to actually light up the room. And there's also like two small bookcases and desks as well. 2 desks and a bookcase in this room as well. And there are like these little footlocker kind of chests at the foot of 2 of these beds.
So this would be children sleeping in the beds?
You're not sure. You'd have to, at this point, with the lack of light in this room, you can see, I would say you can see there are definitely shapes in the bed, but you're just unsure how large or small these shapes are.
Can Lucy climb up on the footlocker just to get a better look, or would that be...
Sure. Make a stealth check for me, please.
Those aren't kids. They're smuggling halflings and gnomes.
Lucy actually has proficiencies in stealth, so it was 17 plus 5, 22.
Okay, yeah. Without any issue, Lucy scurries up onto one of these footlockers and begins kind of just like peeking over the sides of the beds to see the 2 beds that have footlockers. There are 2 small shapes, and then in the bed across the way, there seems to be a larger shape.
Does the larger shape look like the old lady we're looking for?
You can't tell in this dark. You'd actually have to climb up on the bed to find out if you like.
Okay, let's try that. Gently and very, very softly.
Okay, I need another stealth check from you, please.
11 and 5 is 16.
16, okay. All right. As Lucy climbs up, very, very carefully. There is no footlocker where this bed is. And Lucy has to climb up onto the sheets. as Lucy's climbing up on the sheets. It is definitely a large person. Well, medium-sized person. Larger than the two shapes in the bed, because Lucy realizes that she is on one of this person's feet as she climbs up. And the person shifts ever so slightly. And Lucy can see it's definitely a female sleeping in this bed. There's definitely like longish hair. It seems to be kind of tied back in a braid. But thankfully, this person seems to be a heavy sleeper and is not awoken by Lucy kind of grabbing on her foot. So ever so slightly just releases and begins to climb back down. While the rats are doing their thing, Phoebe, Squall, Jarina, Leah, Galen, and Sora. As you're just kind of outside in these kind of alleyways watching the area, I need the 5 of you to make stealth checks. Leah, since you can't make a stealth check because you are looking through Lucy's eyes. You're just kind of there. So Phoebe, Squall, Jarina, Galen, and Sora. I need stealth checks from you.
9.
Okay.
Question, DM. This is more for me just understanding the layout. Is the moon out? And if so, is it like a full moon or no?
It is not out. And it is not full. And the light that's coming from the street are from these kind of like ever-burning torches that come on as the sun goes down.
Okay. Just wanted to know how we're all seeing.
Sure. Jarina, what'd you get?
18.
18. Sora?
Sora yells out, "Fuck!" as her toe hits a rock, as her toes hit a rock, and she's just basically hopping around, and then realizes she's supposed to be hiding in the shadows. She got a 6.
All right. Phoebe, what'd you get?
25.
25. Galen?
I got an 18.
18. Okay, so thankfully, Sora, after stubbing your toe, Galen is able to kind of pull you deeper into the shadows just as a Crown's Guard is making their way down the street. Hears you, turns, and begins looking in the direction that you're in. And then turns the opposite way. Starts looking in that direction. And starts looking around. A little confused. Continues to make their way down the street. Jarina, thankfully, where you're standing with Leah. Leah, you feel Jarina kind of pulling you back. And thankfully, Crown's Guard does not notice you, continues walking by. And Squall and Phoebe, Phoebe is able to kind of like pull you, Squall, more into the deeper recesses of this walkway, as you are just completely just focused on the front door of this orphanage and not paying attention to this Crown's Guard who is now walking down the street. And thankfully he doesn't notice because the fucker rolled a nat 1 on his perception. So he does not notice any of you.
Wow.
Talk about fucking lucky.
Yeah. And
No, it's called the D team because the A team's on the front lines right now.
wow. Who was jonesing for a bear claw not like an hour ago?
Hey now.
All right.
Hey, I was helping the group by
A-team.
sampling the ware.
A team. So you would be Murdoch, right? That's you. Okay. I just want to be clear.
My favorite. How did you know?
Just a lucky guess.
Is this a bad time to mention that you have a DM inspiration?
No, it's not a bad time for that at all whatsoever. All right. So the guard continues on their way. Rowan, you are still in this large sleeping area. You've made your way back under the door into this kind of like hallway area where the stairs led upstairs. You have in front of you another set of double doors. To your right, there is a single door. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go into the second set of double doors stealthily.
Okay, stealth check, please.
Well, this time I rolled a 5.
Okay.
You have a group inspiration.
Am I allowed to use that? Do you guys mind?
You
I
can
don't
use
care.
Okay, I'll try again. Thank you. Six.
Okay.
Better.
Yes.
All right. So you begin squeezing yourself under this door, and again, it's very similar to the other door, so you're able to squeeze in without an issue. And as you do, you let your eyes kind of adjust, and again, there's no light in here, but you immediately hear again the sounds of snoring and sleep sounds. And as you start to kind of look around, make a perception check for me, please.
$22.
22. As your eyes adjust, you definitely see more beds. And as this seems to be an almost identical room to the one you were just in. And you can definitely see some bodies, small bodies in these beds, except for one of the beds, where there's a small, tiny individual just kind of sitting up in the bed. And again, it's very dark. Even with that roll, you're not entirely sure what this individual looks like. But you can definitely get the sense that they're just sitting up and they're looking in your direction. And you just watch as one of their hands reaches over to a side table very, very slowly and pulls something off. And as they pull something off, hold on one second. I need to make sure that I am using the right stats for this. Hold on a second. You hear Rowan. I see you little shit. And then you hear a yeah, let's see.
I go on?
Does a 15 hit your mouse form?
I think it hits my human form.
Okay. So you take 4 bludgeoning damage as what feels like this small pebble hits you. How many hit points does your rat form have?
7. Well, that's the giant rat form.
Yeah, no,
I don't have anything else to go by.
I will tell you. I'll tell you right now. Hold on a second.
Thank you. It's probably got me.
Your rat form has 1 hit point.
Oh god.
So you take.
How did he get me when I was like right under the door there, right there by the door?
It's almost as if they weren't asleep.
Well, in the pitch black. Come on now.
You are white.
Pitch black to you. So immediately, it feels like a pebble hits you. You lose your rat form and immediately shift into your Rowan form. And you do take the extra 3 damage that does carry over into your regular form.
How much damage? 3
3
damage?
3.
Okay.
And you immediately hear go, oh shit, the fuck!
Shh. Shh.
And you immediately hear, what? What's going on? What the fuck? There's somebody! I just fucking killed her! There's a fucking...
It's okay, it's okay.
Help!
Is there a window anywhere?
Hold on 1 second. I will tell you in a second. Yeah, you are on the 2nd floor, and the nearest window is right next. There are windows that are shuttered, but they are right next to the beds against the wall. And the nearest one is right next to this small individual who is now screaming help, sitting on their bed. And
Okay,
now
look,
everybody's starting to wake up.
This is what Rowan's gonna do.
Okay.
She's gonna wild shape back into a mouse, get back under that door, and book it the fuck out of there.
Okay. Immediately, right back into mouse form. Leah.
Rat form goes.
Rat form, yeah.
She's gonna go back under that door and just book it down those stairs.
Okay. Let's start booking it down the stairs. Leah, you hear screaming coming from somewhere. The people that are in this room are beginning to wake up. What do you want Lucy to do?
I'd like Lucy to be invisible and get the hell out of there.
All right, well, Lucy's already invisible, so Lucy begins making her way out. The rest of you begin to start seeing lights come up on this through the 2nd floor windows.
I just kind of whisper, what the fuck is going on now?
And you can hear very faintly from where you all are at, but you can definitely hear what sounds like some kind of shouting. About a minute or 2 goes by, and you see this little white rat scurrying into the street in your general direction. Leah, you eventually feel, and then you kind of let your sight come back. Lucy, crawl back up your leg and go back into the little pouch. Rowan is now back at you where you are, Galen. She has crawled back up your leg and is just like kind of sitting on your shoulder.
Quiet as a mouse, eh?
Squeak.
What would you all like to do now?
Squall?
Perhaps we should make leave for now and see if whatever ruckus was made is still enough information. Maybe she still scoped out enough. I don't know.
Come back tomorrow?
Maybe. Yeah, we have to, I guess.
All right. Let's stealthily skedaddle back to Norman.
Okay. As you are starting to leave, you definitely can see shutters being opened and heads starting to stick their heads out of the windows, beginning to look around. I need you all to make stealth checks, please.
I'm in Galen's hand. Do I still have to make a stealth check?
No. Galen's
What?
stealth check is going to be good enough for both of you, so he better
Jesus.
make it good. Jarina.
Okay.
I got a nat 20 plus 1, so 21.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Rowan doesn't do this. Sora.
I turn to go towards them, and I trip and I fall right into the road right next to one of the lamps. I got a 4.
We do have a group inspo.
Are you using it or not?
You guys good with that?
You can use it.
Phew, 18.
Squall, do you need one?
That's an understatement. Yes?
What did you get, Squall?
5?
All right. So who's using the group inspiration?
Galen and Squall used it, so we have no more group inspiration at the moment.
Wait, I thought we had one more.
Squall just used it.
There was
Oh,
only
okay.
2 in a DM insp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can use it.
Yes, you can use it.
All right.
I thought you just used it.
Oh no, the 5 was the first roll.
Okay. So what's the actual roll?
5
It
it
was
is.
worse.
It got worse.
Okay, 5 it is. Leah, what'd you get?
12 plus 8 is 20.
All right. Phoebe,
24.
24. Galen.
10. This is probably the lowest I've ever rolled.
Okay.
For stealth.
All right. So thankfully, the rest of the party is able to kind of like, as Sora trips in the street, Squall and Jarina, you're able to kind of grab her arms very quickly and just kind of literally just yank her and pull her as you're kind of like rushing away as stealthily as possible. And you feel like you probably weren't seen, maybe. You know, you feel pretty good about it. But you definitely make your way out of the immediate area and start booking it to the tower. It is going to take you some time to get there, but in that time, you definitely don't have the Crown's Guard coming down at you or chasing you. Nobody seems to be looking specifically for you in this moment. But about the time you get to the Tri-Spires, it's pretty late. You definitely get to the Norman, the teleportation Norman, and make your way back into the tower without any issues. So you are in the tower now. You have a mouse, Rowan. What would you like to do?
She's squeak swearing. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. Goddamn son of a bitch, that bullshit.
Do I see a large lump forming from Rowan's rat form? On the
No,
back of her
rat
head?
form was fucked up. Rat form was demolished. Rat form had 1 hit point and it got crushed. And then I had to turn back into Rowan and back into another rat.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
As we're in the tower, I shape. I drop the wild shape.
Okay, all right.
Oh shit! As he's still holding you in your hand, and you just turn into a human. I'm like, oh shit!
Well, I'm an elf, not a human, but thanks.
Sorry.
It's
Humanoid.
okay. That's cool.
Alright.
It's cool.
All right.
Yeah, so this little shit was awake and saw me and just threw a rock at me and killed me. I hate dying. It sucks.
How many times do you die?
Never mind. Anyway, I don't know how he saw me. He had dark vision or something because he saw me as soon as I came out from under the door. Dude, I was so stealthy. I didn't make a noise. I didn't do anything. He just saw me and threw a rock at me, I guess. I don't know. Something crushed me.
Right.
So anyway, I shaped back into Rowan. So I've been working with the Moonweaver a bit, and she has been visiting me in my dreams. So the next time we go to the orphanage, I'm probably either gonna have to go in disguise or I'm gonna try this invisibility thing that she keeps saying that I have.
Moonweaver?
My goddess. Well, one of my goddesses.
Can I make a religion check?
Sure.
Can I do it with disadvantage? Because I'm sure we're.
Well, are you proficient in religion?
No.
Then yeah, it would be a disadvantage.
I feel bad. I'm sorry, guys. I upset the kids and I didn't mean to scare them.
So there are kids in there.
Oh yeah, there's lots of kids in there. I counted about 5 or 6 in the first room upstairs and about 6 in the second room. And I'm sure there were more because there was another door at the end of the hall that I did not get to. Didn't you guys say you saw children at the window the other day? Sora?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a front or anything. There's actually kids living in that shithole.
Yeah, but what's she using them for? If she's also one of the ones using this drug or distributing it or whatever.
I don't follow.
Let's just talk about this in the morning. I'm getting tired. I don't know what a Moonweaver is. Galen got a 6 on his religion check.
Yeah, you know it's a god.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I messed up. I
That's
tried.
okay.
We did. There are warm bodies in there. I don't know. Did Lucy see anything on the bottom floor there, Leah?
More kids sleeping. There's a room that was completely sealed. I was unable to get in under, like the door crack. So I'm assuming that there's something of interest in that room. Otherwise, it was just a stinky orphanage.
Very stinky. Agreed.
You definitely, I will say again, on that floor, you definitely smelled lots of food on that floor.
Did the food smell fresh or rotten?
A little of both. There was some fresh and there was some rotten. All right. Jarena, you had something that you wanted to say?
I wanted to try to deduce something based on the commonality of at the bar with the warning of not drinking the ale. Sorry, out of game, did Galen and Leah tell us about the attics in the alleyway that they saw?
When you guys went to the bar to collect the debt?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Did you guys tell the group?
I don't think so. No, we didn't. I thought it was kind of obvious that everyone was... I think to Galen it was kind of obvious that it was not right how drunk they were. So I don't think he told them.
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind. I can't do my deduction then.
Okay. Okay. All right. So anything else? Like you guys are talking about what you saw?
We got a plan for tomorrow. I think we should just go up there and some of us stay outside and some of us go inside and shake her down like we've been doing with everyone else.
All right.
At what point do you want to start to surveil the Crown's Guard that we're going to try to frame? Because we should at least get an idea of his, travel patterns, places he goes, things that he does, so that we can start gathering information to frame him.
Well, it's probably not a good idea for us to do that all in a big group. So I would say you're probably one of the stealthiest people in the group. And I don't know, maybe you and Phoebe or me and you can go scout for him and gather some intel.
That sounds like a good plan. 2 people reconnaissance, and what I would also think would be good is if we used the change of appearance disguise, whatever that spell was.
I don't know how long it's going to take Leo to teach Sora, but she would have to find him first.
Okay.
All right. So, what's the plan?
I just want to say this is out of game me. Lauren, you still haven't talked to that contact in Zadash. Just reminding you.
Yeah.
Okay, just letting you know. Above game. But Galen's going to bed.
That's the plan. Okay.
He's had a long day of Rowan sitting.
All right.
All right, so Phoebe, do you want to go with Leah, or do you want me to go with Leah?
You go on ahead. It's been a long
We can't hear you.
She said, "You go ahead."
Okay. So then me and Leah are gonna go out and get some intel on this Crown's Guard.
Okay.
That sounds good.
And everybody else is going to go to bed?
No, I think I'm gonna sit and talk to Leo for a bit and learn this spell if he's home.
Okay.
Rowan's gonna go up to her bedroom and meditate and work on her invisibility because it's obvious she's gonna need it.
All right. No issues. All right. So, Sora, Leo is he's like kind of going back and forth around the tower, so you're able to catch him. It's like, yeah. So, what do you need, kid?
Yeah, you offered to teach me that spell to change our appearance.
Oh, yeah. Seeming, yeah. I don't know if you're. I definitely teach it to you, but I don't know if you're actually able to learn it at this moment. It is a pretty high level spell. So what is the highest level spell you can cast at this moment? I think it's like level 3, right?
I'm checking. Hold on.
We're all level 5, right?
I was typing notes.
Yeah, you're at level 5, but that's different for wizards.
Yes, I can do two-third level.
Okay. So he kind of looks at you. Like, well, yeah, it's a 5th level spell. So you know what? I can do this. And he kind of starts going through his stuff. And he pulls out a scroll. He goes, there it is. Here you go. And he gives you a scroll of seeming. He says, when you're able to cast, these spells at this level, you can just copy it into your fancy book there. It's not going to take you too long. But if the shit hits the fan and you need to use a scroll, you could do that too. But then the spell's gone, and then you just have to come back to me, and then I can teach it to you, whatever. But this is just just in case you get to that point and I'm not around. Here you go.
Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you think I might need to know?
Look, I don't want to I don't want to blow air up your robe here. you guys got some learning to do, and while you're good at book learning, I'm afraid if I give you some more of like my good stuff, that I'm probably gonna have to break you out of jail at some point. Um, that's again, that's kind of like my thoughts on this.
I completely understand.
I could be wrong, but I'm generally not wrong. So I'm giving you some stuff that'll help. But when you show that you're worthy of the good stuff, I'll be here to give you the good stuff. But as of right now, I don't want to put I don't want to put a wand of fireballs in a kid's hand. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
I understand.
Okay. But that's a good spell there. The seeming spell is pretty good. That's what I cast on you guys before. It's pretty
Sora literally breathes fire. I know I'm not there. I'm sorry.
I know. All right. Well, Leah and Karina are off doing some reconnaissance.
I don't need to know all the shady shit you guys are up to.
No, I wasn't gonna go into
La
the
la
details.
la la la, not listening to you.
I was just trying to figure out if there's something I should be doing. That's all. Anyhow.
Okay.
All right. You have a good night.
All right. Take care. And he goes about his business. Jarina and Leah. So what is it that how are you going about trying to find out information on this individual? Like paint me a picture of what is your process. And remember, look at your character sheets. You might have abilities or skills or something that helps you with this.
Would it still be possible for me to go speak with my contact in the market?
Well, you know where he is.
Yeah, can I go speak to him?
If you like. Hopefully that you'll be able to find him at this late of an hour, but you know where his stall is.
All right, well, that's at least a place to start.
Okay.
And then we can go from there. Does that sound okay, Jarina?
That sounds perfectly okay.
All right. So you begin to make your way to the Penta Market to talk with Leah's contact to see if you can figure out any information that you can find out about this corrupt Crown's Guard. And that is where we're going to take our break. All right. So we will be back momentarily, folks. And when we get back, we will see what happens with this contact. All right. So we'll see you in a few. and we are back. All right, so Jarina and Leah, you've made your way over to the Penta Market, which has been closed for a number of hours. There is not a lot of traffic going on around here. In fact, it is very, very dead here in the Penta Market. But you've made your way over to the tent, the tented area where you saw your friend, the fishmonger. And so you can see that the stall itself is closed, but there is still that large tent behind it. And there does seem to be some light coming from some of the edges of the actual, front tent flap.
Do you think we could go over and see if there's anybody around?
Yeah.
All right. So you walk up to the tent. How are you getting someone's attention? Like it's a tent flap. What do you do? Are you just gonna walk in or?
Oh goodness, no. Gonna make some noise. Is anybody there?
About a moment goes by, and you hear a voice behind the tent. We're closed. Come back tomorrow.
Thought I'd just check in on an old friend and say hello.
There's a pause, and you see someone start to pull the tent flap back, and you see this black dragonborn just kind of stick his face out, and he just raises his eyebrows. He goes, "Holy shit. Get your ass in here. Come on. And who's this?" And he points to Jarina.
You're muted.
You muted.
Oh, this is a good friend, Jarina. And I
Ah.
introduced her to my friend, the Dragonborn. I don't remember his name.
Take notes. Notes are your friend.
I have so many notes, I can't follow them anymore.
All right. All right. So we're gonna. My notes are here and there as well because of the unfortunate the virus purge of my computer. So we're gonna call this guy Amok.
It says Arniath.
Arniath.
Arniath, or at least that's how my scribble looks.
All right.
Black Dragonborn, Fishmonger.
All right. There we go. Arniath. All right. So he's like, Arniath, pleasure to meet you. Just come in. And he just kind of like looks around outside for a moment and then closes the tent flaps. And as he does, it's very, very nice inside. He's by himself. There is what seems to be like a wood stove kind of like in the middle. It's very much like a yurt, this tent, where there are just very much like tent poles that are just kind of keeping everything up. There's the wood stove, and then there are like bales of hay kind of around one section, and you can see like almost like a curtained off section for what you would imagine are like beds. Like they're just some beds that are you're not sure if they're like a hammock or what have you, but there's like a sleeping arrangement happening on the other side as well. And he seems to like have been eating. When you came in, there's like a plate of half-eaten food. And he's like, what the hell brings you to Zadash? I haven't seen you in fucking years. What's going on?
Passing through, picking up a little bit of work here and there. I just wanted to see how things go in this Penta Market. We passed by a bakery today that seemed to have some unusual baked goods.
Yeah, I don't eat there.
Neither would I. Those people are hopelessly addicted to that pastry.
That's gonna blow up in somebody's face pretty fucking soon. If I had to make a guess, yeah, you can't keep something like that under wraps with the way these people are acting. You know, like they need their next fix of a cheese Danish. What the hell is that? I mean, come on.
It's crazy. It's crazy. How do you have a decent living around here? Everything seems to be so shady.
I'm actually on the up and up for once. I mean, you know the kind of crazy shit I got into back in the day, but I'm actually doing pretty well being legitimate out here for the first time.
Well, that's fantastic, because there's so much shady shit going on around here, I don't even want to stay. And that's not my style. It's too weird.
Yeah, it's gotten worse since the war started, to be very honest. Yeah, once most of the righteous brand left, there was a lot of, that's the best way to put this. They took a lot of the people who enforced the laws here in Zadash, and they sent them to the front lines. And so they've got kind of like just a skeleton crew going on here in Zadash, and so a lot of the crazies, you know, who normally wouldn't do shit because there were so many righteous brands and crowns guards around, they just kind of started floating to the top and thinking they could get away with shit. So if I was running that bakery, I would probably I put another 2 or 3 weeks into it, and then I'd just pack up with all the money I've got and get the fuck out of Dodge. You know what I mean? Because it's just, people are starting to go to the doctor about this crazy shit, and eventually somebody's gonna catch wind on, you know, one of the higher ups, and it's not gonna be a good scene for anybody involved, you know.
Even the Crown's Guard seems shady as shit. We were being harassed by some guy at a game, I don't remember his name.
Gazem Glosk.
Gazem Glosk.
As you say the name, he just kind of backs up slightly and goes, if he's harassing you, I hope you weren't followed here or anything, were you?
Oh, definitely not.
All right. I mean, I know you're pretty careful, but just... that guy's bad news. He's routinely tried to shake a few people down here in the Penta Market. He hasn't gotten his claws into the folks here yet. But some of the newer shop folk that have kind of set up here in the Penta Market, they don't know any better, and they're starting to pay him protection, which is bullshit. And I've kind of tried to warn them from not going down that road, but you know, they see Crown's Guard, and right away they think, you know, oh yeah, this, I guess, who can I complain to? He's the law, you know.
Exactly. He's giving us shit already.
Well, you're not staying very long. If you're not staying very long, then you got nothing to worry about with this guy. But if
it's good to know.
Are you setting up shop here? Yeah.
Not considering it anymore. There's way too much going on that it's going to draw a lot of attention soon.
Oh, I can help set you up out here if that's what you're looking for.
That's good to know. It's something we'll consider in the future.
All right.
And I don't want to start off on a bad foot with the Crown's Guard up my ass to begin with.
Well, I mean, for the most part, the Crown's Guard out here, they're pretty. I mean, they're inept. I'm just gonna put it right out there. For the most part, there are some good ones, and then there's some they got no prospects whatsoever, so they're just gonna join the Crown's Guard. They're not the brightest torches in the forest. You know what I mean? But and then you got guys like Glosk, who's got aspirations.
I see.
The aspiration guys, they actually don't last too long. They usually get weeded out. But again, like I said, since the war started, they're the crown is hurting for people. So he might actually last longer than he should, just because he's slipping through the cracks, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. They're not giving you any shit over here. I mean, you're running a straight business.
Like I said, he's tried to shake me down a couple of times. I dripped a little acid on one of my fish to kind of make a point, and he kind of like backed off a little. But I don't know how long I can keep him at bay. He's a pain in everybody's ass, and he's just getting worse and worse every day.
Yeah, it's what I thought. So how do you like it here? You've been here long?
Yeah, I've been here for about 2 years. It's been pretty nice. Like I said, I mean, I came here to do, our type of business. But I found like that was already kind of, for lack of a better term, regulated. So they didn't take too kind, the folks who have regulated that stuff here don't take too kindly to outsiders. And you know me, I'm not a joiner. So I was like, oh, I got a bag full of coin. I can't set up business here. Maybe, how can I make some money? And just kind of this fishmongering just kind of fell into my lap, right? It's like this older guy was looking to retire. I bought his shop, his name, his contacts, because, we're fucking landlocked here, and Fisher as a premium, comes up from the Menagerie Coast. So, I got them. I got all of his stuff at a good fucking rate, and I've been legitimate ever since. I've been making more money this way than I ever did doing, our type of business. It's crazy.
That is crazy. No kidding, huh?
Yeah, who thought?
Something
Who would
to
have thought?
consider.
Yeah, who would have thought? I'm making my money in fish.
I wouldn't have thought. Definitely wouldn't have thought.
Yeah. So, but what brings you here? I mean, like I said, I mean, you're saying you're not setting up shop here, legitimate or otherwise. So, what brings you to my tent?
Oh, I saw you earlier in the day and thought I'd stop by, but I didn't want to draw any attention to you or anything. We're just passing through on our way further north and ended up stopping in this town for supplies, but the pickings are slim.
Well, I mean, if you know people, you can get some good stuff, depending on what you need. You need me to introduce you to some people?
We were looking for some supplies, some magical items. Everything seemed to be picked pretty clean, or ridiculously expensive.
Well, yeah, the war effort, we'll do that. Yeah, it was reasonable. It was reasonable for a while, and then prices shot up the minute things became scarce. You know how business goes.
Exactly.
So, and now he's just kind of like, what do you want, Leah? Just come right out and say it. Stop beating around the bush.
You told me everything I wanted. I wanted to know a little bit more information about what's going on over here before we decide to stick around. And it looks like we're just going to be passing through.
All right. Well, all right. I still keep my ear to the ground. I got the 411 on a lot of shit. So just, just be careful. And if there's anything you need to know, that's what I'm here for.
Thanks. It's good to have a friend.
This, telling you, you want to be careful with that guy, Glosk. He's sloppy, but he's getting better at being a shit. So, the more time he gets at this, I think it's going to be harder and harder to get him out.
Is he well liked by his men, or would they stab him in the back first chance they get?
Well, let's put it to you this way. He not always, mostly travels with a group of about 6 or 7 other Crown's Guard. It's only because they get his leavings, if you know what I mean. He kind of tosses them a few coin here and there, so they look the other way. Makes him look like, he's a big tough guy, because he's got his little group of Crown's Guard. They're always with him. Yeah, between you, me, and the tent wall here, yeah, if he stopped paying them, they wouldn't give two shits about him.
That's what I wanted to know. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You need to know anything else, or? Like I
At a
said,
game, I honestly can't think of anything.
all right, well, I got my ear to the ground, so how about you? And he kind of looks at you, Jarina. You're with this crazy cat. I'm sure you've seen some shit. You
Oh,
got
yeah.
any question? You got any questions about this guy?
No, we just don't want to deal with him anymore.
Look, we kind of, and now he's looking around. He gets up, goes over to the tent flap, pulls it to the side, sticks his head out, looks back and forth again, closes it. You'd be doing everybody a favor if you did something about this guy. I can tell you for sure that you wouldn't be missed.
That's what I hear.
Yep. He likes to drink alone at this little dive bar over on the other side of the outer steads. The western outer steads. Are you familiar with the arrow in the knee?
I can be.
Alright. It's a shitty little dive bar. It's not frequented by Crown's Guard. He goes there after hours. It's pretty sloshed. And then makes his way home. He only lives like a few blocks from there. He's one of the few Crown's Guard that doesn't stay in the barracks. If that's helpful.
That is very helpful. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
I think I have an idea, Leah.
What's up, Jarina?
And he just turns and he goes
I'll
back to
talk
his
to you
plate
later
of food.
about it.
He goes back to his plate of food and starts eating. He said, I'm not hearing anything.
We can't thank you enough for your help and understanding in this matter, but we'll leave you to your dinner.
Yeah, no worries. I will say that if you do something about this guy, I might be able to take up a little collection from some very happy shop individuals in the Penta Market here that might, make your coin pouch a little heavier, if you know what I mean, as a thank you for getting that fucker off our backs.
That could be arranged. Thank you so much.
You didn't hear that from me.
I've heard nothing.
What? Who's that?
Exactly.
Yeah. I miss you, Leah. You be good, all right?
You too.
All right.
Thanks. Jarina, you ready?
Nice meeting you, Jarina.
Nice meeting you too.
All right.
Okay, we head out.
Okay. All right. You head back out. Make your way back to the tower without any incident. And you are all able to rest for the evening. You get the benefits of a long rest. Rowan?
Do I make contact with my goddess?
I don't know. What are you doing to make contact with your goddess?
I'm going to
which one?
the Moonweaver.
Okay.
I'm going to go into a deep meditation and hope I can contact her.
All right.
Because I keep getting messages in my dreams that I have this invisibility spell.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I need you to roll me a wisdom check. This is to determine how well you're communicating with her.
Not very well.
Okay.
I rolled a 1.
As a natural
Total-
one, huh?
Total of 5.
Natural one's a natural one. So you meditate and you concentrate, and while this is going on, and you're just like, invisibility, invisibility. You said I have invisibility. I really need invisibility. And at some point, you realize that you're just pleading at this point for invisibility. And it's not, it has stopped being more of a meditation and more of a please, 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 please give me invisibility. Please, please, please. And you don't feel particularly connected to your deity in this moment.
Oh, you know what? Is that because I'm in Leopold's Tower and I need to be out in nature?
It's possible. Whatever the reason, you're unsure why, but it's pretty clear that whatever communication you are attempting, there's no connection that you can feel. But at some point you do look down as you open your eyes, and you don't see yourself.
Cool. Okay, so I guess I have invisibility.
Is it silent invisibility? Because that would help a lot.
You're not in my room, Leah.
I'm not, but I'm your voice in your head now, and it would really help a lot.
It is just invisibility.
To start anyway.
But
I have these little things that say VSM. So it's visibility. What else is that?
No, that's what you would need to cast a spell. It's somatic, vocal, somatic, and materials. That's what VSM. But because that is a racial ability for you, you actually don't need those things. You are able.
Cool.
You are able at will, not at will, but as per your racial ability, you can cast invisibility. So it's once a day.
And how long does it last? Oh, it says an hour, 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until you either use a spell or attack. And then your visibility will drop. But you're definitely confident that you have the ability to do so. But you still didn't make that connection that you were hoping to make.
Sadness.
Is there anybody else who wants to do something before they awake from their long rest? No? Okay. So you all awaken with the long rest that you so desperately needed. You have breakfast as you normally do. Leopold and Norman are nowhere to actually be seen this morning. They seem to be kind of like, Leopold definitely seems very, very busy. He's just kind of like moving around, but he doesn't join you particularly for breakfast. But all the normal foods are there.
Rowan stays as far away from the pastries as she can.
No problem. And then you all now have to decide what it is that your next steps are.
What's the plan, people? Oh.
I think me and Jarena should brief everybody on our the information we got, and we can go from there.
Okay.
Are we going to shake down the orphanage lady today?
That sounds good.
I'm going to go invisible because those kids will be able to spot me.
They'll all be shitting their little feeties because of.
I don't want to scare them. It's not their fault that they're, warden. What do you call the orphanage keeper? She's kind of a shithead. It's not their fault.
Matron.
I am not.
Not you.
Anyway, I can go invisible, so as to not spook the children, and I should have probably known that before we did that reconnaissance last night.
Well, ideally we should try to do this without making a big scene.
Says the guy who kicked in a door.
We don't know that.
Meticulously and with the utmost care. But regardless, this orphanage, it's a little bit bigger of a case, and I don't know. It says this one doesn't feel good. This one's not as this one does this. The approaching here is not as easy, and we really don't want to have to use force, which
We don't want to hurt any of the children. We got to
Right.
make sure that they're out of harm's way. Hopefully, she'll be just as accommodating as the others, or more accommodating than the others.
to be clear, what was the precise what was the guy asking for again?
He said
Totally.
either we give him the amount, which I can't remember off the top of my head, which seems like a lot, or we burn the orphanage to the ground, I think.
I thought we had to kill her.
Oh yeah, we had to kill her, that's it. We had to burn the bakery to the ground if they didn't give up what they had.
And
What are we going to do about Gloss?
I don't have all the answers here. I genuinely don't.
Squall, I know you don't. It was the question was for the group.
Right.
It wasn't just for you.
Sometimes it's just be easier to swing a sword and move on. I'd prefer that method. Diplomacy is not my strong suit, and I don't really feel comfortable muscling kids,
It's not the kids you're muscling. It's the one that's supposed to be their guardian.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had to.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
We're always crossing these bridges.
I have a flashback of a time where I wish I had a bridge and was crushed by a horse.
I have apologized so many times for that.
Okay.
If you need to hear it again, I'm sorry, Squall. I did not mean to crush you when I turned into a horse.
It's a little, traumatic. That's all. No hard. I'm over it. I'm past it. Water under the bridge, right?
You don't seem past it because you keep bringing it up.
Well,
Water
it's
under the
just
horse.
it's a very unique experience in my life that I'm past it. Again, sometimes just wish I could just, solve my problems with a sword. Put me in a very weird position. I just don't know how to deal with that.
Knight, and I am a shapeshifter. How are we not working together?
Usually
I can totally
you put the knights
be.
on top of the horse. That's all,
Well, We can do that. When we are in a situation that
Okay.
requires a knight upon a horse, just ask, and we
Okay.
will do the
it would
thing.
be a more comfortable circumstance.
And I promise I won't try to lay an egg as a horse.
See, we didn't have to bring that back up. That one. Although, if again, if we need a distraction. Okay, the orphanage. Do we? I guess. Does anybody have the notes for how much we have to claim from this orphanage?
9,000.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
It was.
Yeah, I think Jarina or Leah have the exact amount.
Was it over 9,000?
I want to say it, but I'm not.
Do we happen to have enough pocket change to not have to?
No, we
Murder.
have to do this job. We have to prove that we're working for him and not screwing around behind his back. That's the
Well,
whole-
let's assume this person is doesn't have this money, and we already don't like this particular job. This is why we left it for last. We know this. And again, we could still show up. We can still assert our job description and make sure we leave with the gentleman's money, if possible.
We're good. Okay, so we're gonna collect it because that's what he asked us to do. He didn't say steal it. He didn't say find
Right.
money somewhere else. He said collect it from this lady or fucking kill her. That's what he said. If we don't do what he asks, that's it. We're gonna have the myriad on our asses for the rest of our lives. And I don't think he's letting us go, even if we do all these jobs and even if we take out Gloss. I don't think he's just gonna let us go on our merry way. I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to keep us on a very short leash, because that's how mob bosses work. So we have to get in his good graces, and in order to do that, we have to do what he asks.
Are you gonna murder this?
If she's a real asshole, I have no qualms about it. I'm
So-
getting to the point where, like before, I was trying not to kill people. I was doing my best just to entangle and just to tie them up and just to scare them, but it's not working. None of this is working. Me playing nice is not working.
Well, you've heard it from the horse's mouth.
Well, considering that we didn't want to do any of the jobs in the first place, and how they turned out, I have a feeling this is going to turn out just about the same way. There's something shady going on here.
I assume so. I assume if she is in with this guy, that there's something really shady going on, like she's making these children drug mules or something. So she sounds like a shithead. You know, Gloss is a shithead. We have to figure out how we're going to take care of him next. I'm not very good with upper body strength. Otherwise, I would just strangle him outside of the tavern.
I could easily muscle a gent if necessary. That's a far more easy task.
Yeah, but
You
I
gotta-
think if he got disgraced, it would be a better way to do it.
That sounds really complicated.
I mean, like, what do we pull his trousers down in the middle of the street? I don't know what you're asking here.
I don't either. I was like, do you want to send him to a brothel so he gets syphilis? I mean, what do you want?
No,
How are we disgracing this?
What we've been talking about all along, having him arrested.
If he is part of the Crown's guards and he's surrounded by cronies at all times, how are we going to get him arrested? Have you thought of that?
Are Jarina and Leah back yet?
Yeah, they're sitting with you at breakfast.
Okay. Well, did you guys find out anything?
What we found out is this guy is definitely undesirable. They don't want him in town. He's shaking down all the shopkeepers. He wants protection money. He's pretty much a lowlife, and nobody would miss him if he was gone. So let's say he fell into, I don't know, like a portable hole or something. Nobody would care.
Anybody have one of those on him? I mean,
Jarina?
It would be handy.
because we could just slip one of those under his bar stool or something.
Exactly. We know where he drinks. It could
That's-
work. He comes
that could
out, he
take-
steps in a hole. Shit
That could
happens all the time.
A few moments. We could be done with that one before we bat an eye.
And we'd still have him if we need him for future uses.
What I was going to say was, what happens when you're drunk? You want to eat things, so maybe we can get him to eat one of the pastries, and then,
Give him
you
a
know,
drug problem?
yeah. I mean, look what happened to Rowan when I told her to just draw.
That might work. We could compel him with the pastry to do something terrible very publicly.
He doesn't
Yeah,
seem very
That
bright.
was
I mean,
my thought. Like,
it's a
have
thing
him
that
mug,
could happen.
have him mug somebody in broad daylight, or have him mug, rob a shop in broad daylight.
Are we alone? Like, are we genuinely
We're in the
alone?
tower.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, is Leopold just walking around?
He's been back and forth, but not in this room.
Okay.
Like
okay.
he's puttering around the rest of the tower doing stuff.
I was all for the potential kidnapping.
If we leave him in the hole, he'll suffocate.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
But that's a really shitty way to die. I know.
Unless
But
he
that
hits his
also-
head
I
on the
feel
way
morals
down.
aside here, we've pretty much committed to ruining or to completely removing this man's life. How
We
it
could run
happens
him
is something
through
we
or
should not be
slash
able
his
to.
throat or strangle him, and it takes a total of one whole minute to kill him. It'll take
Wait.
about 10 hours to kill him in the portable hole.
Why are we trying to kill him when we're supposed to get him arrested?
To kill him would be easier.
Yeah, but there's a reason that,
It could
we were
spark an
hinted at.
investigation.
yeah.
Where
What
is
was that?
on the priority list again? Because this is diplomacy again. Can I just, and I whip out my sword, can I just cut something? I am itching to this. I have been running around.
This whole thing should have been, we should have at least tried to figure out how to do this midway through doing the other four things. So that this way, from what we were hinted at, if we got rid of this guy, the gentleman would actually let us go.
Got rid of,
Got
not
rid of.
arrested.
Sword out again.
You know,
Yeah.
have
rid
him
of, that's-
investigated.
Yeah.
Excuse the way I said it.
And I put my sword bag away.
Don't worry, we'll find a head for you to cut off at some point.
I just. It just seems like so much work to give a man a crippling addiction to pastries.
Why not? He's a piece of shit anyway.
The key
He will
is
die of diabetes.
He
He will
will
slowly
diabetes.
deteriorate, getting fatter and fatter, popping out of his armor.
What if he doesn't like bear claws? There's so much more involved.
we have other pastries.
We have an
So
assortment.
we get ourselves a baker's dozen and just let him have his pick.
We already have a baker's dozen.
Oh.
There be spelled pastries. We can shove them down his throat and then compel him to do something awful.
Listen.
And we
all
maybe
he
just put poison in these things and have him just eat them all up and then just die in the middle of the street.
You
No.
guys are
Sword out
overcomplicating the
again, yeah.
situation.
All he
Sorry,
has
let's
to
just
do is
kill him.
smell them. All he has to do is smell them. Look what happened when Rowan smelled it.
Yeah, but it's
Okay.
Rowan. That's a bad example. Like,
Okay,
I really like sweets. I'm sorry.
you guys are really overcomplicating the situation. He drinks alone at a dive bar and then lives a couple of blocks away from the dive bar, away from the barracks.
We can murder him in his
Or not.
house.
kill him! There we go! We're back to It's gonna be just a few minutes. It's all it'll take.
We
What was-
can't just get rid of him. We have to absolutely have it where he is investigated and arrested.
Is that what your contact said?
Is this before or after we shake down an orphanage? Because I still see a lot of gray area here.
I honestly would love to do it before the orphanage.
Right.
We could just split up. Some
What
of us
if we
deal
get
with the
him to
crowd.
shake down the orphanage for us,
Oh yeah.
and I could go back to sleep? Because I, I'm at a loss here.
Let's not split up. I think it's a bad idea if we split up.
Don't they say? Isn't the phrase something along the lines of "divide and conquer" in the party for success?
No.
don't know.
Divide the others up and conquer them. That's how we divide. You divide the others. You don't divide yourself.
With my sword.
Yes, I like
See,
that.
this works for me.
However, he is Crown's Guard. There will be an investigation. We can't leave any evidence behind. That is what is
That's why
happening.
I like the portable hole idea.
Back to that one. That's good. Should we chop him up first and put him in the portable hole, or
No, we just dump him in the hole.
Push him in while he's inebriated and either let him suffocate slowly or,
what if
I don't know.
while he's in the hole, we pull him out at the
Didn't you-
orphanage?
didn't you
to
hear me
threaten
say-
the orphanage?
But didn't you hear me say we can't just kill him?
And I asked you, is that exactly what your contact said, or are you just?
Are we interpreting?
Yeah, are we interpreting?
He really feels like he deserves to be killed outright.
Phoebe, when we met with I forget her name,
Kara.
Kara. Do you remember exactly what was said?
You're muted.
She might still be having mic troubles.
Yeah, I don't think her mic is working.
You want to type it in chat?
I was gonna say she could probably go downstairs. And
Well,
talk
I
to
will
someone.
for the sake of moving it forward, I will tell you that Kara said that if you could do something to get him out of the way that would not cause an investigation, that would be helpful.
Sounds like portable
All right.
hole.
Well, I guess I remembered wrong. You guys go ahead and plan it.
But if a Crown's Guard goes missing, there's going to be an investigation.
Except
Unless they think he left.
because he is not someone they really care about. I say. Now,
He's a-
also, this is not this.
Yeah, but
this
he's
is,
not. He's not just a soldier.
He has aspirations, according to Leah's friend. He wants upward mobility. He wants to be big shot.
We could try to frame it that he took off with all the protection money he collected and left his little band of merry men in the lurch with nothing, so that they're not even looking for him. That he just picked up and left for another reason, like just took off.
He's
I
got
like
it
that
pretty
one.
good here. I don't think that'll fly.
this is more of a optional opportunity, right? This is not, I still think that yes, we can leverage this particular task, but does this help us solve the shakedown of the orphanage?
No, but it would give us into the good graces of the gentleman who wants any excuse to kill us.
Yeah.
It was implied that by taking care of this Crown's Guard in a very particular way, and the word kill was not used. I just want to stress that. It was getting him out of the way would make the gentleman not keep you on the hook anymore. Because Kara said that you could complete your list, but the gentleman was going to continue having you do more after that list and was not going to let you go. But by taking care of this guard, it would show the gentleman how good your group is. And then you wouldn't be on the hook for more chores.
Maybe he needs an arrow to the knee.
So essentially,
Exactly.
this will, if we do this job, our chances of essentially having a second chance at not fucking up increases, or we can finally get out.
Can I just say, I think we have terrible luck.
We survived.
We?
As a group.
I don't function on luck. But what makes you say that?
Oh, I don't know. Just bad luck.
I mean, if we don't burn people alive or shoot first, I think we'll be good. I don't know.
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead as well.
I feel like taking care of the orphanage might be something we should get out of the way first, and before we all is said and done, we can take care of this Crown's Guard.
I agree.
And it's mainly because of the timing difference. If he's drinking alone at night versus whether or not we're choosing to knock on the door of an orphanage during their functional hours. We don't have the luxury of so much time where we could, do this weeks and days down the road.
Can I just say something? The dwarves in charge seem to be very righteous, very well-meaning people. The ones that Sora gave the dogs to, and the lawmaster.
Wait.
They seem like they're really
We can't tell them.
decent people. No, we can't tell them. But what if this guy fucks up in front of them?
But that's what I was. Okay.
Well, what were you saying then, Sora?
That by us getting him to eat the pastries, we could make him fuck up in front of somebody important.
But I don't think that's A plus B equals C in that equation. How are we going to get him to fuck up by eating a pastry?
Why were you compulsively drawing a bear claw?
Because
hours?
you commanded me to.
I did no spell on you.
There were 2 spells on me. There was one.
But I didn't cast a spell on you.
So
That was from eating the pastry.
Oh, it made me more suggestible?
You see Sora nod at you like, yeah.
This is what I've been saying the whole time.
So what do you think? You think we can get him to collect on the orphanage? We could just offer, say,
No,
hey, we can.
Let's not intermingle the two. Let's just put the dust of deliciousness under his nose, see him take it, and then make a very strong suggestion. If you give me a day to prepare the spell, I could cast friendship on him, and it would probably do a double whammy.
What would we have him do once we...
Sorry, you're muted.
Hold on one second. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do that when all we have to do is catch him when he's drinking at this place? Make like we're making friends. Give him a pastry. Have him do something in front of... I was just about to look up the name. That's why to the Herald.
I still, I mean, isn't he going to the bar on off hours? Like when
Yeah.
Yes, and then he walks alone home while he's drunk.
Yeah,
And it's not nowhere near the barracks, and it's nowhere near the area where we met the lawman.
so... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My suggestion was going to be one of us go in disguise while he's walking home drunk, offer him a pastry, pretend that we're eating it to get him to eat it, and then one of us may that same person suggest maybe he goes to try to kill the lawman, the herald, and then just disappear like nothing ever happened.
What if he's
Ooh.
already familiar with the pastries that are coming from this place?
But he might be too drunk.
Yep, we're back to a roll of the dice there.
It's a lot of chance, leaving a lot to chance.
Then we can just push him in the hole if it doesn't work.
That's a backup plan.
What if we just follow him home and tie him up in his house and just leave?
And
him
just shove it down his throat, maybe,
I mean,
like that
for
one.
that, why don't we drop him in the hole and just bring him to the gentleman?
Sword back out again. Yeah, back to him. Just kill him.
We do not want to bring him to the gentleman because that is too much liability.
Oh yeah, that's a bad.
I'm
idea.
sure that's not what the gentleman wants at all.
Even just using his name in public he probably doesn't like that. We've been told numerous times.
So
We can bring him home for Leopold and give him a friend.
as you say this and you're having this conversation, you turn as you all hear it, and standing at the doorway, the entrance of the area where you're eating, is Leopold with Norman standing behind him, and he's just kind of shaking his head. It's like, "Yep, I have to break you out of jail." And as he nods, as he shakes his head and says this, that is where we're gonna call it for the evening.
We are a disaster.
Wow, you guys are
2
amazing.
hours to open a door.
You guys
If
are.
Rowan was a dead horse, he'd be beating her.
This is amazing to me. This is so like this is D&D in a nutshell. I love this. This is great. Oh, wonderful. So amazing game, everyone. Yeah, you got some planning to do. Absolutely planning to do. Because man, it is amazing to me that your characters actually can get up in the morning and tie your boots and actually walk out of a door. It is just this is and you are this is so good. This is so good. I love this so much. All right, so great. So great game, everybody. All right, so I'm gonna do a couple of quick shout outs, and then we're gonna call it for the evening. We're getting off a little early because as I said earlier, people's schedules are changing now that the world is so opening up again, and so people have to go to work and do other things. So we're ending a little early tonight. Zero, thank you so much for gifting 2 tier 1 subs. Congratulations, Pet the Dragon and Gaia Luna 1. Enjoy your subscriptions, your month subscriptions, and enjoy the wonderful emotes that come with them. And I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. I want to thank once again my patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for all of your support. All of you, thank you for the support of just watching us and supporting us and with all the craziness. Folks, it doesn't get better than this. This is classic D&D right here. Adventurers that don't know how to adventure is like is D&D trope 101, folks. Right? It's like I have power and I don't know how to use it. It is the best. All right. So I can't wait to see what happens next week. As you still have the issue of corrupt Crown's Guard and an orphanage that owes over 9,000 gold to the gentleman. This is good. I can't wait to see what happens. Thank you everybody for joining us this evening. Thank you for inspirations. Remember, just as a reminder, you can give players and myself inspirations for the ones that have not been used. You will get those refunded back to you. They do not carry over from game to game. And just thank you so much, everybody. We're going to, as we call it for the evening, we're going to raid someone who we want to support. So please show them love, follow them, say hello in chat, just show them some love and support. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and we will see you next time. We love you all very much. Take care.
Bye.